Are you comfortable talking about sobriety?
Of course.
Okay. I'm sober. Do you know that?
I didn't. Wait. No. Congrats, baby. I love that, baby. Korean. That's Korean.
Yeah. I just don't want to do what he does. You know what I mean?
I know.
But I had 13 years of sobriety at one point.
It's awesome.
17 years, but all program related. I was a hardcore 12-step guy. And now I have over 2.5 years. I started my own meeting. I'm very active now, but you do 12 steps?
I do.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, when did your alcoholism come into rear its ugly head?
I think you're born with it. So because
that's interesting. Okay,
I'll tell you why. Because one of my first memories, is my dad. I'm little enough that I can be in my dad's arms. So that's how young this is.
Yeah.
And he's drinking a beer. And I asked to have some of it. Oh. And he gave me a sip.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was like, oh, isn't that cute? And I remember going, glug.
Wow.
And then vomiting.
Wow.
So I think a normal person, A, might not have asked for it, and B, would have gone, but not. I was like, oh, no.
Well, most kids would be like, oh, gross, because it hasn't really,
Well, I didn't like it. I threw up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And, but, I think you're kind of, I honestly think you're kind of born with a predisposition to it, and then it's a lot of whatever you're going through in your life can ignite it.
Because there's a theory that maybe it's not a genetic thing, and that maybe trauma and all those things can kind of, you know what I mean?
I can be both.
You can be both.
But I'm inclined to believe that
I do too, because my dad's one. No,
let's whisper on the mic.
we're doing a podcast, right?
My dad's one, right? And there's generations of them.
Yes.
So in my mind, I'm like, I think I just carried on the tradition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my son. And I'm not speaking out of school because my son's very open about it.
Yeah.
I have one son completely normal.
Yeah.
Another son who's got 7 years
of
sobriety.
Wow. Is that the son that you're doing the TV show with?
That is.
Incredible.
Because us alcoholics, man, we know how to make fucking television.
Yeah.
We do.
Wow. So
we really do.
Yeah. So, but during the Outsiders and all that stuff, were you drinking a lot then?
Bro, this is how different the business was in those days.
Oh, I love it.
Again, this is a studio movie, like Warner Brothers studio. First of all, there was always someone you could buy blow from on set.
Oh my
Always.
God!
Always.
Great.
Always.
They don't have that at craft service anymore.
And that was usually prop
licorice and stuff.
Usually prop department.
Wow.
Sometimes camera. Sometimes the AD staff. But for sure, one of that department was selling Coke. Always in those days. Tommy Howell played Pony Boy. Was 15. I had just turned 18.
Howell, okay.
And
can you not call people like Double D or Tommy Howell because it's like these are little side things that you have with these people. But I'm a layperson, so it's
okay. I'll only go for their IMDb.
Yeah. Tommy Howell. So anyway, yeah.
IMDb names from now on. So we're
Pat S. You know what I mean? It's like what?
Buddy.
Buddy.
Yeah,
that's right, Buddy. Yeah.
Buddy Swayze.
Did you call him Buddy Swayze?
His name was, and by the way, I refused. I thought it was like you.
Yeah.
He was Buddy to everybody.
Did you call him Buddy?
I couldn't bring myself to do it.
What'd you call him?
Patrick.
Okay.
But no, his name. But hey, call me Buddy.
Really?
Hey, call me Buddy.
I would be like, yeah, okay, Buddy. Yeah, okay.
So we're teenagers.
Yeah.
And at Rap every day, the Teamsters gave us 6 packs of beer.
Oh, wow.
We're not anywhere near 21.
Wow.
So when you say, were we drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no network person, or not network, but anybody from a studio that was like, hey, son. You know what I mean?
All that stuff
Shouldn't you be rehearsing?
That stuff was not happening in those days.
Because I saw a clip once. It was Richard Pryor on a set, and I think he was smoking crack.
That's amazing. On the set.
On set.
Openly?
Yeah, it was either weed or something, but it wasn't like a cigar or like a pipe.
Contraption of
he was
some sort.
or doing right, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. You know what I mean? Like I would be so nervous on a set that so when I relapsed the last time, I'll tell you what happened to me. On a Saturday, I was drinking 24 hours a day.
But first of all, wait, here's what I want to ask you.
Okay.
everybody I know, and you had at one point 17 years?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm fascinated with people who go out after 17 years, 10 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
And I want to know what the thinking was behind it, because I've had, and I know a lot of people do, and it's always the same from my perspective. It's like, man, I got sober when I was 20, and everybody experiments when they're 20, and it was like, it's like and I've learned so much, and look, I'm not going to go back and do any more blow or anything, or I'm not going to like get drunk and fucked up or anything, but like, I know what it is now, and like, if I want to have a glass of wine with my wife, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I had a friend tell me, and like, I'm going to shoot a movie in France, and I just want to have a glass of wine. Within 6 months, he had bitten a cop in the face.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Jail.
Yeah, it goes down fast.
Yes,
it goes down
does.
fast. Yeah. I mean, for me, 17 years sobriety, and then like, I had a friend that knocked on a hotel room, and I answered it, and I was from head to toe with poo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I go, hey man, what's going on? It was insane. So that's what I get, the cop fighting thing. But
I didn't think that could be topped, but you did.
yeah. So I'm going to tell you what happens, and this is because I've really relapsed a couple of times. It's always when for years you stop going to meetings. Yeah. And you stop calling people. You know what I mean? That's for me been my story of like, because things when you get sober, your life gets better. Right, it's obviously better, right? You get all the relationships back.
By the way, there are plenty of people that aren't sure about that. We know that to be true. But
Yeah.
I want to point out what he just said. When you get sober, your life gets better.
Yeah.